It's time for the men's 5,000 metres, 12.5 laps of the track. Joshua Cheptegei holds the world record. Back in 2018 on the Gold Coast, he recorded a double at 5,000 and 10,000 metres, and his compatriot Jacob Kiplimo goes in this one, having won the 10,000 just a few days ago. He's going for a double as well, in the same colours, those Ugandan orange. Mark Scott of England goes in this one, 14th in Tokyo 10,000 last year, 14th in Eugene at 5,000. He's a better athlete than that. I think he comes into this probably with a little bit of fire in his belly, Mark Scott, for England. There were no UK entrants in the 5,000 on the Gold Coast back in 2018. There is Jacob Krop, watch him, the world number 2 this year from Kenya. He'll be a fierce opponent here. John Gay, well, he ran in the steeplechase this morning. Do not adjust your sets. He was 4th in the steeplechase exactly 8 hours ago. Gisemo goes in this one, and that fought Tanzania, but his best only 13.56. The man athlete Malaki, 13.47, his best. Rama Kogwana of Lesotho hasn't broken 14 minutes. There's Jacob Kiplimo, world record holder for the half marathon. He won the 10,000 metres here. Hasn't run a 5,000 this year. This is his debut over 12.5 laps for this year. Solomon Ziosi, 24th in the Commonwealth Games back in 2014. Paulus of Namibia, Daniel Paulus, he's a 13.54 performer. There's Pat Diva, NCAA champion last year over 10,000 metres. 27.23 back in March, but hasn't really progressed since then. George Beamish of New Zealand, 10th in the world indoors over 3,000. Could be used for a slowish race. Yeshnil Karan of Fiji, 15.26, his lifetime best. William Ponsa of Ghana, no times for him at all. And there is Mark Scott, watch him. He's a fierce racer, took a wonderful bronze medal at the world indoors over 3,000 back in March in Belgrade. Matt Ramsden, he's a very quick 1,500-metre runner, a 3:51 mile of the Australian. He could be a danger. The Tanzanian Lazaro has never broken 14 minutes. Cornelius Kemboi of Kenya, well, he's never run for Kenya before, selected because he was 3rd in the Kenyan trials. He's earned his place. Sable, well, he took a fantastic silver medal for India this morning and a national record in that steeplechase. He's got to be on tired legs. Rayner for Australia goes there. He's strong, 27.15, has the national record for the Aussies. And Nimubona of Rwanda is there as well. He's a 13.15 performer. And Nicholas Kipkorea Kimeli, the world number 1 on the inside. He won in Rome earlier on this summer in the Diamond League in 12.46, making him one of the quickest men in history. 9th in the Commonwealth Games 4 years ago.
On your marks.
So, 20 starters then, 12.5 laps of... Well, how will this one pan out? 4 years ago, and by the way, not a single finalist from that Gold Coast 5,000 4 years back is in this race. Not a single one. Joshua Cheptegei, world record holder at 5,000 and 10,000 since 2018, isn't here. But in 2018, the 3,000 was reached in a pedestrian 8:47. They almost literally jogged the first 3,000 metres. Then the 4th kilometre things picked up. That was at 2:38, and the 5th kilometre was lightning fast at 2:25. There'll be 1 or 2 men here. I think Rob Walker will be looking for perhaps a similar sort of pattern in this race. I know that Matt Ramsden, a 3:34 1,500 guy, would be delighted if the first half of this was on the slow side.
He certainly would, Tim. He is a big, powerful performer. He's just on the right of picture now in the middle. I can't believe Sable has taken his place in the starting lineup after that epic silver medal in the steeplechase. Talking about the Indian just running in the middle of the group, now just on the left of your picture. The other interesting dynamic here, Tim, I know you do a lot of commentary on the Diamond League circuit. When Kimeli and Krop ran that Rome Diamond League, it was absolutely sensational. They tore chunks out of each other and produced the 2 fastest times in the world this year. And then you pull into the mix Jacob Kiplimo, trying to become only the 4th man to do the double. Camera focusing on the back of the pack. Kiplimo's in the middle. I think it would suit Kiplimo if it was slow, because he might still be feeling tired after the 10,000 metres.
Well, Krop and Kimeli at the front, and I think there's arrangement here. That was a 63 lap, it's quick, but they have slowed pretty dramatically. Nimubona is up there in 3rd place. the two Kenyans taking it out, have been playing a strange game, because the pace early on from Krop and Kimeli was pretty healthy, Rob Walker, and then they've suddenly decided to ease right back in the throttle. They're bunching badly, and that's not comfortable for the guys further back in the pack. There's a little bit of nudging and shoving going on.
Yes, a strange decision from them, having initially thought that they would go quite hard. Do you know the other Australian we haven't spoken about a lot, Tim? Jack Rayner. The camera's focusing in on Ramsden. He's an excellent 1500-metre runner for Australia. But, you know, just up on the shoulder of the leaders is Jack Rayner, national champion over the half marathon. And do you know what? He smashed his 5,000 PB in Oslo, talking about the Australian, the mustachioed Australian, just tucked in behind the two Kenyans in fourth place. 13:06 in Oslo, so maybe if it's slow early on and then gets quick again, maybe he could be the Australian to feature. He looks pretty comfortable in fifth at the moment.
Well, they're lapping athletes already. That's how slow it is. 5:23 at 2,000, at 2:44 that second kilometre after 2:39. So much was promised, but it is pretty bizarre. Nibubona, a 13:15 athlete, pretty useful. The third Kenyan beginning to move up to the fore, and Kiplimo just shadowing that lead group. He's back in about 7th or 8th place at the moment. The Namibian, or Tanzanian rather, Joshua there, back in about 8th. Mark Scott tucked in on the inside, staying in contact with everything up front. And Pat Diva as well is there for England, NCAA champion last year, ran a really quick 10,000 back in March in California, but hasn't really shown anything like that sort of form since. A couple of 13:20 runs in May and June in the USA, but a little disappointing really, as the season was supposed to reach its climax. There were so many fast races in the USA in March and April and May in the Californian sunshine, and many athletes can't replicate that when it really matters in the meat of the summer. The pace just beginning to pick up, I sense a little bit. Kenya now in 1, 2, 3, and I wonder if from here onwards, the middle of the race more or less, they're going to start turning the screw.
Kiplimo just towards the back of that picture, the Ugandan. There'll be so much excitement about his aspirations here, but he's taking on three really fast Kenyans, two of whom are the quickest in the world this year. Matt Ramsden beginning to be dropped off the back, and so too Mark Scott. It's Pat Diva of England now the highest placed of the two home athletes, but this is beginning to look a little bit metronomic here, and Kiplimo is sensing the danger. Maybe he's the only man who can stop the Kenyan clean sweep. He needs to pay close attention here, Tim, because I wonder if we're going to see a sudden burst of acceleration as we now edge towards the finish.
Well, Kimeli leads, Krop in second, the third Kenyan Kemboi back in third place, and now Kiplimo has moved into third place. He's beginning to realise that the surge is on with 10.5 minutes on the clock. We're looking for that 4-kilometre split, and it will be at the end of this straight. And Kimeli winding this up. Clearly the Kenyans have discussed this. I don't think this is independent behaviour. They're trying to figure out a way to unlock the dominance of Kiplimo. This is 4K. There it is, 2:39. So not a super quick kilometre, but not a slow one either. And that means that the questions are being asked now over this final 2.5 laps, because for these fellas, this is not quick. And they're moving away now, and Scott is going backwards in 8th place for England. I expected him to go better than that, because really, they've only been moving at around 13:20 pace, or marginally inside that. They come to 2 laps to go now, and good to see Pat Diva easing away there in, what, 4th, 5th place. But Kimeli from Krop, from Kiplimo, who looks very relaxed in 3rd place.
Yes, the Ugandan is tracking the two fastest men in the world this year. Remember, if you missed it, they were side by side, Kimeli and Krop, when they ran 12:46 in Rome. It won't be anywhere near that fast, but all three of these men are well within their comfort zone. Can Jacob Kiplimo find the raw acceleration needed? He's arguably better at the 10,000 and better at the half marathon, but the Ugandan in third looks very, very comfortable. Remember, he's bidding to become only the 4th man in Commonwealth history to do the 5 and 10 double at the same games.
Kimeli leads, 500 metres to run. The 10,000 metre champion, he's had plenty of time to recover. He should be fresh here. Jacob Kiplimo of Uganda in 3rd place as they come to the bell. Will they light up the track here? 12:13, maybe 12:14 at the bell. A 62 penultimate lap. Not particularly quick. That's not really going to test fellas of this caliber. Kimeli and Krop may be playing into the hands of Kiplimo here, or they are both surely pretty fresh if they're running some 30 seconds or so inside the tempo of their run in Rome. There's a wall of Kenyans now, a small wall of Kenyans in front of Kiplimo, but I think he's going to bide his time. He's going to leave it until the home straight. Surely he won't expect to come wide. He's going with Krop now round the outside. Look at that, hanging onto his coattails, stride for stride. The Kenyan's kicking hard. He's the world record over the half marathon. Does he have the speed to go with these two? Kimeli and Krop flailing arms now, and here comes Kiplimo like a machine, like a metronome, easing past them. But is he going to get there at the line? He is. It's the double for Uganda again. Kiplimo makes it a win at the 10,000 and a win in the 5,000, and the Kenyans were outthought and outraced. Mark Scott has rallied, comes home for a fabulous 4th place, some way back. But my word, what a race that was up front. Rayner coming home as well, up in the top 8. Kiplimo's time 13:08 after a strange race. The time at 3,000, remember, 8:01. That was outside 13:20 tempo. A super fast last lap there, bringing Kiplimo victory by the tiniest of margins. The Kenyans did everything they possibly could, as we see some of the back markers coming through. He won by 11 100ths of a second. Kimeli taking the silver, Krop the bronze, and he was about 2 meters down. And Mark Scott 13:19, a season's best for him. He managed to wring out a really solid run, Mark Scott, from that one, when with about a mile to go, I thought he was down and out.
Jacob Kiplimo is the toast of Uganda tonight, tomorrow, and for the rest of this season. He's beaten the 2 quickest men in the world this year, who mounted a magnificent attempt to deny him the double. Full credit to Kimeli and Krop with the silver and the bronze. But despite the fact that it's not necessarily Jacob Kiplimo's best distance, he had enough down the home straight. He has stepped out of the shadow of his fabulous teammate Joshua Cheptegei and follows in his footsteps. Moses Kipsira of Uganda did the double in Delhi. Joshua Cheptegei did the double on the Gold Coast. And Jacob Kiplimo has done the same here in Birmingham, where he has simply been brilliant. Rosfeo Sislio of the Solomon Islands is coming home here in last place, but he's been roared every single step of the way, and he's given a hero's reception in Birmingham.
Well, he's wearing his rosary too. Comes home in a time there that, well, I'm not sure he'd win many park runs around the UK, with all due respect, COC, but it's symbolic that he is here. Don't think he's come anywhere near his personal best. Here is that last 300 metres. Kimeli and Krop, side by side, trying to keep him at bay, and that's all that was keeping him at bay, because he had the speed in those legs. You can see him here screwing up his preparation for this final kick. He knew what was coming, he had plenty of time to think about it. Mentally, I thought there, with about 130 to go, maybe a gap would appear, but he swung wide, eased up behind the Kenyans. They made him work for it, made him work for every single inch. When he drew close, when he drew level here on the far side, you can see Kimeli, he finds another surge, but it's not enough to deny Kiplimo the double. He wins by about half a metre. Brilliant racing. And I was looking at the Commonwealth Games record, Rob, from Melbourne back in 2006, when Augustine Choge beat Buster Mottram. And boy, oh boy, was that a great race. They ran 12:56. It was an absolute humdinger in front of the home crowd for the Australian.
It was, and this was just as good, although it wasn't quite as fast. But Kiplimo is absolutely magnificent. He's got medals in cross-country, he's got a gold on the road, he's got a world record on the road, a whole host of bronze and silver medals on the global stage over the 10,000 metres, but now he is a double Commonwealth champion, and he's shown here this evening against the 2 fastest men in the world this year that he's got the raw speed to beat the Kenyans. over 3 and a bit miles. This guy's range and experience is extraordinary.
Well, boy, does he know how to celebrate. He enjoys himself. I love the fact he wears his heart on his sleeve. He's a lovely racer. He is World Half Marathon champion. He's now Commonwealth 5,000 champion Jacob Kiplimo, ahead of the Kenyans, Kimeli and Trott, silver and bronze for them. 13:08:08, a season's best for Kiplimo. Of course it is. It's his first 5,000 of the year. Mark Scott, a brilliant 4th place there. Nimu Bona of Rwanda in 5th place. If only he could get more exposure, more races on the international circuit. And the times down there, Jack Rayner 13:24. John Gay, with that steeplechase in his legs from this morning, running 13:29 for 9th place.
Geordie, congratulations. What a run. 6th place finish. Are you happy with that?
I'm happy enough. Yeah, it's progress from disappointing world champs. So yeah, nice to get out here. It was solid. Wasn't great, but wasn't terrible. Yeah, happy enough.
Where would you have liked to have seen improvements?
I think I probably could have got 4th. Just kind of that little group we ended up in. I mean, those top 3 were probably in a different league, but I think I probably could have got those next 2 guys if I just hung a little tough for the last 4 laps. I moved well the last lap, but just gave them too much room. But yeah.
You were less than 2 seconds off your PB. How was your preparation coming into this race?
Probably confidence was lower than usual. The last couple of 5Ks have been a little disappointing. I ran a couple in Paris and then in Eugene, both in like 30-degree heat. So that was a bit of a knock on the confidence. So this is beautiful distance running weather, so that helped. Yeah.
I mean, it's almost cold in here, so I'm glad to hear that it helped. Yeah. We just heard the crowd go nuts for a pole vaulter over there. How are you enjoying racing in front of a crowd like this?
Oh yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, definitely the loudest, biggest crowd I've ever run in front of. So happy to be here and be a part of the New Zealand team that has been doing some amazing things, and hopefully, maybe the next one I'll be a bit further up. Yeah.
How much has it motivated you to want to go further?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know what to expect coming into the Com Games after World Champs, but I was blown away with how tight-knit the New Zealand team is and how special the kind of the welcome ceremonies and the traditions we have. And yeah, it's definitely given me a new perspective on the Com Games. And my teammate Ollie, the Aussie, just won the 1500 today, and I was in tears for him, and that's pretty special. So definitely Com Games is up there with one of the good ones.
Awesome. Well, it's great to see you out there. Is there anything you want to say to the people back at home?
Cheers for tuning in. A little bit of an early morning, but yeah, I got a ton of messages, and yeah, stoked to hear that people are supporting back home. Cheers.